In the original Jurassic Park, Dr. Ian Malcolm, Jeff Goldblum, famously remarks life finds a way, after discussing all the various ways that a dinosaur-filled park may go wrong. Malcolm's statements proved prescient, not just for the story, but also for the Jurassic Park series. Despite dwindling returns, the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World films remain popular, and Jurassic World Rebirth is no exception. Jurassic World Rebirth, directed by Gareth Edwards and authored by David Cope, who also wrote Jurassic Park and its sequel Jurassic Park, The Lost World, begins with an unexpected scenario and only escalates from there. 17 years ago, in 2008, 7 years before the Jurassic World disaster, a laboratory on the Atlantic Ocean's island of Isle St. Hubert was utilized to manufacture transgenic mutant dinosaurs. One of these inventions, a deformed six-limbed tyrannosaur known as Distortus Rex, escapes containment and causes havoc, forcing facility personnel to evacuate the island. 17 years later, the Earth's climate is too harsh to support dinosaurs. They are compelled to live in areas near the equator that approximate the Mesozoic climate and have been designated as no-travel zones. Martin Krebs, an executive at pharmaceutical company Parker Genix, hires Zora Bennett, a former military covert operative, to work with paleontologist Dr. Henry Loomis on a top-secret mission to retrieve biomaterial samples from the 3 largest prehistoric specimens, which contain the key to a new heart disease treatment. In a Suriname bar, Zora recruits her longtime friend Duncan Kincaid to head the mission. He invites along boat driver Leclerc, mercenary Nina, and security head Bobby Atwater. They traveled to Isle St. Hubert to collect samples from the aquatic Mosasaurus, terrestrial Titanosaurus, and avian Quetzalcoatlus. They pursue the mosasaur, which has stranded a family boating around the island. Ruben Delgado, his daughters Teresa and Isabella, and Teresa's lover Xavier. They rescued the family, and Zora successfully extracted a sample from the mosasaur. However, it returns with a swarm of Spinosaurus to assault the ship, killing Bobby and Nina. To safeguard the mission's secrecy, Martin prohibits Teresa from radioing for aid, and he refuses to assist her when she and the Delgados fall overboard. The mosasaur drives the ship aground, trapping the team on the island. Zora informs them that she used a rescue helicopter to circle the island in 24 hours. The team successfully recovers the second sample from a Titanosaurus, and the third and final sample from a Quetzalcoatlus nest. But Leclerc dies after being eaten. Meanwhile, the Delgados are stranded somewhere, looking for colonies. They come across a variety of dinosaurs, including an Aquilops, whom Isabella adopts and names Dolars, a Dilophosaurus feasting on the Parasaurolophus body, and a Tyrannosaurus rex, which chases the Delgados down the river. The two groups gather at the abandoned laboratory for helicopter extraction, but are assaulted by a pack of mutated raptor-pterosaur hybrids known as mutadens. Martin snatches the samples from Zora and flees to the helicopter. After Henry sets a flare, the helicopter is destroyed by the Distortus Rex, which subsequently devours Martin. The survivors locate a boat connected to the facility via an underground runway. Duncan diverts the D-Rex with a flare and subsequently rejoins the others as they flee. With the samples in hand, Zora and Henry decide to share the novel medication without a patent, making it open source for the entire world. Dinosaurs are dying off in large numbers 5 years after Jurassic World Dominion, owing to the Earth's changing conditions from millions of years ago. Many of the prehistoric beasts still live near the equator, and travel to these areas is severely restricted. Despite this, the pharmaceutical company Parker Genix wants to use genetic material from some of the planet's largest dinosaurs to develop a new form of medicine that could heal heart disease. Mercenary Zora Bennett, Scarlett Johansson, is hired by Parker Genix CEO Martin Krebs, along with paleontologist Henry Loomis, and her fellow mercenary and longtime friend Duncan Kincaid. But in typical Jurassic World manner, nothing goes as planned, as Edwards and Cope offer an entertaining adventure. While Zora and her squad are tracking their first target, the seafaring Mosasaurus, they are unaware of another party of people traveling in the ocean. Ruben Delgado is sailing with his daughters Teresa and Isabella, and Teresa's slacker boyfriend Xavier. But a Mosasaurus capsizes Ruben's boat, prompting Zora's squad to rescue Ruben and his family. Things soon become worse when a swarm of Spinosaurs attacks Duncan's boat, and the money-hungry Martin Krebs lets Teresa fall overboard instead of radioing for rescue and blowing the mission. Duncan's ship is wrecked, leaving Zora and her team to collect the remaining samples as Reuben and his family search for a resort with a working radio. Zora successfully collects samples from the remaining two dinosaurs, Quetzalcoatlus and Titanosaurus. Meanwhile, the Delgados find the resort, encountering threats such as a Tyrannosaurus rex on the way. Isabella also befriends a plant-eating baby dinosaur named Dolars, which resembles Jurassic World Rebirth's attempt to create a Gragu or Crypto. It turns out that the island the Delgados and Zora's team are on is far more dangerous than they think. 17 years ago, InGen, the company that began cloning dinosaurs in the first Jurassic Park, conducted a series of experiments that resulted in terribly altered monsters. These mutations include the Mutadons, a gang of winged raptors who nearly kill the human protagonists, as well as the gigantic monster known as the D-Rex. Krebs betrays the group, flees with the samples till the D-Rex devours him, and destroys the helicopter that Zora summoned to pick up her squad. The rest of the humans find a boat, but Duncan remains behind to draw out the D-Rex. But in what could be the film's most unexpected twist, he does live after securing the samples. Zora resolves to follow through on a previous discussion she had with Loomis and open source the samples for scientific development, assuring that science belongs to the whole world, as Loomis states. Despite being a sequel to Jurassic World Dominion, Jurassic World Rebirth may exist on its own. This was intentional, as producer Frank Marshall stated that Rebirth needed to seem like, well, a rebirth. We wanted a film that felt like a new beginning while keeping in the world of the prior films. We have new characters, a new setting, and new dinosaurs, some of which have gone quite bad. There is only one significant connection to the rest of the franchise. When Duncan asks Loomis what led him to paleontology, Loomis reveals that he spent time studying under Alan Grant. It's an effective technique to reference previous Jurassic films without relying too much on them. The strategy appears to have succeeded, since Jurassic World Rebirth is expected to do extremely well at the ticket office over the 4th of July weekend. Despite mixed reviews, once more life found a way,